Spider-Man 2 can be way more challenging than the previous games, but there are some important unlocks you can get early to increase your power right off the bat. No story spoilers in this video, of course, starting with the first thing you are able to unlock: new skills. And this already makes for quite a change up from the previous games, as there are now 3 separate skill trees to choose from. One for Miles, one for Peter, and one for both Spider-Man. Skill points are not exclusive to a tree though, so you have to prioritize if you want upgrades for one Spidey or for both. But regardless of what you do, I recommend unlocking new abilities for each Spider-Man first. Both characters have 4 available ability slots, but early story missions only give you access to 2 of them. The other 2 are unlocked through Miles and Peter's personal skill trees. Miles can expand his combat arsenal with Venom Dash for 1 skill point and Venom Jump for 2, both of which will be familiar to those who played Miles Morales. And Peter has some cool new moves with his new Spider Arms. Spider Rush and Spider Shock are 2 powerful attacks that you'll definitely want to add to his moveset. Spider Rush costs 1 skill point and allows you to leap forward while damaging enemies in your path, which makes it both a powerful offensive tool and a way to disengage if you are surrounded. Spider Shock, which you buy for 2 skill points, takes a page from Miles' book and shoots electrified web lines which shock enemies and leave them vulnerable to follow-up attacks. So you definitely want to add these powerful attacks to your arsenal as soon as possible and have 4 abilities available for both Spider-Man. After unlocking these, you should take a look at the shared skill tree, as any upgrade unlocked here of course provides a boost to both Spider-Man, and the first skill in the tree you have to unlock, Slingshot Launch, is already very useful. By holding L2 and X, you start charging a forward leap which can help you traverse the city much quicker, as it's effectively a horizontal variant of your charged jump. It's also useful for scouting out new activities on the map. If you can find a high building, you can launch yourself off and use your web wings to scan the environment by pressing R3 for any objectives or ongoing crimes, plus you get a pretty nice view of the city in the meantime. And you definitely want to scout out the different activities in New York, as these are what allow you to unlock fast travel for each district. If you don't do any of the optional content and only focus on the main story, then you won't really unlock fast travel. So by doing any activity you come across when you see it, you will quickly reach the second level of a district, which allows you to fast travel there by simply pulling up the map, selecting a spot in that area, and bam, you are immediately there. It's very nice to have at least a fast travel location on both sides of the water early on, as crossing it can take quite some time. And overall, it of course never hurts to have multiple fast travel locations unlocked, so you can more quickly go to your objective if you need to. And there are way more powerful unlocks you want to get as early as possible. Of course, if you liked the video so far, then leaving a like on it would be awesome, and subscribe for more Spider-Man 2 videos. Now, we talked about some powerful skills, but I'd argue that the new suit tech unlocks are even more important if you want to get stronger. Unlike the previous game, where you would increase your damage and health by leveling up, you now need to unlock suit tech with the tokens you earn from activities to become stronger. This feature becomes available after the early main mission amends. And while there are many useful upgrades, I'd argue that focus has the most priority, as this category is what unlocks your second and third focus bar you can use to bank some extra healing or more finishers during a fight. The second focus bar can be unlocked as soon as you get access to suit tech if you have enough tokens, and if you don't, you can press triangle when selecting your desired upgrade to see which tokens drop from which activity. For your third focus bar, you need to hit level 14 before you can unlock it with tokens, which honestly doesn't even take that long. So I recommend you unlock it as soon as you hit level 14, as having the maximum amount of focus bars early will help you a lot throughout the rest of the game. As will upgrading your damage of course, so definitely unlock some suit tech from that tree too to increase the power of your punches and kicks. Especially useful here is the third unlock in the tree, as this unlocks the Air Marshal perk, which increases your damage against airborne enemies. Your alternative is to restore some ability cooldown on a parry, also very nice, but early game I think the extra air damage is definitely nicer. Even with early gadgets and moves alone, it's super easy to launch enemies and keep them airborne, so you will benefit a lot from this damage increase. Also unlocked after completing the main mission amends are the Prowler stashes. This side activity has a secret reward though, as next to giving you rare tech parts, completing all of them will unlock a new attack for Miles that is tied to his camouflage powers. Now this is something you can already do super early, and it's easy to miss since the game doesn't tell you get a new attack as a reward. But you definitely want to do it sooner rather than later, so you can use this new move for the rest of the game. So after completing your final cache, a short side quest will unlock. Complete that too and you'll unlock the Prowler Strike, which empowers your first punch when camouflaged to deal more damage, and it also adds a shockwave effect that knocks back nearby enemies. So that means camouflage is now useful in combat, as this effect does not trigger when you perform a stealth takedown. Instead, each time you turn invisible while in combat, your first punch will be empowered, and this effect can be triggered multiple times in a single fight. So a really nice new move for Miles, and one that you might miss as the activity does not note it as a reward. Peter of course also has some new toys thanks to his symbiote powers, and there are skills you can unlock that allow both characters to use their abilities much more often. And besides, you have other means to help recharge your abilities more quickly. In the shared skill tree, you can also pick up perfect dodge and KO recharge. You will quickly notice that the cooldown on your powerful abilities is pretty long, but with these skills unlocked, you can recharge them on a perfect dodge or on KOs, finishers and stealth takedowns, which are both things you do very often in combat, meaning you can use your powerful abilities even more often. Unlocking these skills also brings you closer to Fired Up, which increases your focus gains at a higher combo count. Again, focus is one of your most vital resources, as being able to heal or perform a finisher is always nice, so being able to earn it more quickly is super helpful. We can also unlock a special attack from the shared skill tree called Wall Trash, which will help us raise our combo count super quickly. It's definitely my favorite move in the game, as it allows you to perform this series of rapid kicks by quickly pressing the attack button when an enemy is pressed against the wall. It does require some extra positioning work, but it's very powerful and it feels very satisfying to pull off too. And since each kick counts as an individual hit for your combo counter, it means you can reach a high number much quicker to allow for those increased focus gains. Now this skill is all the way down to the left here, which means we have to unlock the prior skills from that skill line too. But luckily these are pretty awesome, especially Bounce Up and Web Swing combo, as these can be used to extend your air combos, well, pretty much indefinitely. Bounce Up is performed by holding triangle while near an enemy in the air, after which you throw them down and they bounce back up, allowing you to continue your combo. Web Swing combo is performed by pressing triangle right after a swing kick, which you perform by holding square and will raise an enemy even further into the air. And you can even combine the two by bouncing up an enemy, then web swing comboing them even higher into the air before you finish them off. Also in the share tree, there's a skill called Combo Resupply, which grants you a chance at a free gadget shot at the end of a 4-hit melee combo. The way this works is that the final strike of your standard melee combo has a chance to trigger a buff that appears with this marker on your screen. The first gadget you then activate while this timer is active will not consume any ammo, so keep an eye out and always fire something off when you trigger this buff. And let's talk about gadgets actually, as there is one in particular that is incredibly powerful. And that gadget is the Web Grabber, which I recommend unlocking as soon as possible to make short work of enemies. It only costs you 115 tech parts and 3 city tokens, which are very easy to come by completing some crimes and photo ops. Once crafted, you activate it by holding R1 and then pressing square to fire a trap that drags multiple enemies to a single point. When you unlock it, its main use is crowd control, as it can easily group multiple enemies together for you to follow up with something like a Venom Punch. But by also getting the first upgrade, which becomes available to craft at level 10, the Web Grabber also pulls in nearby throwable objects, which then crash into and damage grab enemies. If you fully upgrade it, the Web Grabber can pull in more enemies, including brutes, from longer ranges, and the gadget stays behind as a throwable item that you can then use to shock the enemies, which are all neatly packed together. So while the final upgrade is locked behind level 26, I recommend unlocking it as soon as you can to beef up this powerful gadget. Let us know your favorite gadgets and skills in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like. Subscribe to not miss our other spoiler-free tips and tricks for Spider-Man 2, and if you want, you can watch our video on all suits in the game and how to get them by clicking on the screen. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.